he forgets all about tech, he's going to be talking about the differences between Google and Microsoft. Please welcome Peter Wilson.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so I'm Peter Wilson. I served at both of these served time at both these great institutions before emancipating myself early in the year. Google and Microsoft is kind of an interesting topic because everybody asks me, what's it like? What's the difference? How are they the same? And the deal is, Google versus Microsoft is actually a proxy for something much more interesting, which is old versus new. Right? And when we talk about Google versus Microsoft, we really talk about old versus new in terms of how computer applications are developed, deployed, paid for. And it's also the first really big battle between the Microsoft proprietary software model and Google, which is the first super-scale company built on open source. So it's kind of fascinating for those reasons. It's a whole nother 5-minute talk to explain to you why cloud computing is going to win. So kind of take my word that it will. The short explanation is when the bandwidth of your network connection and the reliability equals that of your monitor cable, there's no financial reason to have a PC on your desktop anymore. So the crux of my argument today is if you understand the cultures and what these organizations stand for, then you can predict how they will act. So Google's culture, there are basically 3 things which they really believe. And they don't talk about this externally, but first one is the amount of money Google makes is proportional to the number of people online. So the more people get online, the better things are. Second one is Google can monetize traffic on the web better than you can. Right? So it makes sense if there's a lot of traffic, they will help you monetize it and they will share that money with you better than anyone. And they're really great at leveraging the community from everything from open source developers to localization to search quality. Microsoft, on the other hand, has a completely different set of things that drive their business. They believe in developing and then restrictively licensing a platform as a way to drive revenue. They believe primarily in devaluing their partners. They call it commoditizing their complements, but it's what they did to IBM, and it's why working in PC hardware sucks so much right now. And they build an ecosystem instead of leveraging community, which means they get a bunch of people around them, and then they kind of suck the value to them from the work those people do. So how does this play out in a number of scenarios? One is search. Microsoft ignored search initially because it's an application, not a platform. They realized too late that it was a platform for making money, and now they're doing these sort of unnatural actions to compete, like offering Rupert Murdoch lots of money not to put his content on Google. Number 2, browser. Let's talk about the browser and the operating system. So this is kind of fascinating. Microsoft is all about the platform. They want 80% plus market share, and then they will monetize it. Google's kind of smart. They say, we don't really care about the platform. All we want to do is ensure that it's open so that our content and our apps can flow through. So you get this really interesting asymmetrical competition. There's also an advantage if you produce an operating system, you get Microsoft's customers to demand to get their operating system cheaper. So the thing that Google's realized, which is so interesting, is that they don't need to win on Microsoft terms in order to win. Right? Chrome is at about 3% market share, but they're winning because web apps run better in every browser because of their leadership. Then the last one is Office and apps. Seems obvious to me that in Microsoft Office, a classic innovator's dilemma. Microsoft spent the last 2 years adding a bunch of features which frankly I don't think anybody cares about. Google spent the last 2 years building an application suite which has collaboration and easy deployment available everywhere. So what should Microsoft do? Firstly, stop with the client-server stuff, right? It's been 10 years since the dot-com boom, and they're still building fat clients and fat servers. They should be building a great cloud operating system with tools and leverage the development stuff they have, and build a small client operating system with a fast browser which you can plug into the public internet without having to buy virus software. Take that back to, if anyone knows Sinofsky, tell them that's what he should do. And then attack Google where they're weakest, and there's lots of seams. So what should Google do in this fight? Well, they're kind of winning, so not fucking it up would be a great start. So it's an opportunity to be a white knight. While they've created some great businesses, there really are some people who are hurting, particularly around content, around news, and around music, where there's a lot of value in these businesses which is not being expressed on the web. And it seems to me Google could use their scale and their innovation to help these businesses to build a safe place where they can be fairly rewarded on the web. There is a great question that says, can everybody win? And I think the answer is firmly no, because both companies have very high margins and their stock price and their employee compensation rely on that. Google needs to keep growing, Microsoft needs to find new businesses, and so they're both clearly in each other's crosshairs. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter.